Welcome to Module 6 of Dyslexia Professional Development. In this module, we will go over the legal and policy framework and also discuss the importance of collaboration and communication. We have a lot of learning ahead of us. So, let's get started. This professional development is guided by the following professional goals. Enhance understanding of differentiated instruction for dyslexic students. Develop proficiency in tailoring teaching strategies to address dyslexic students' needs. Gain expertise in legal and ethical considerations for dyslexia accommodations. Foster an inclusive classroom environment for all students, including those with dyslexia. Stay updated on dyslexia research and best practices for improved teaching. Learning objectives. By the end of this module, participants should be able to identify and describe key federal laws pertaining to dyslexia and their implications for students. Participants will develop an understanding of state-level dyslexia legislation and its role in shaping educational practices for dyslexic students in various regions. Educators will gain insights into Texas-specific dyslexia laws, including their requirements for early screening, intervention, and teacher training. Participants will be able to articulate the rights guaranteed to dyslexic students under federal laws, emphasizing their entitlement to appropriate accommodations and support. By the conclusion of this training, educators will be capable of outlining their responsibilities in supporting dyslexic students, encompassing identification, instruction, collaboration, and adherence to legal and ethical standards. Federal and state laws related to dyslexia in the United States are designed to ensure that students with dyslexia receive appropriate education and accommodations. These laws recognize dyslexia as a learning disability, which falls under broader disability legislation. Let's discuss the most relevant laws in detail. Federal laws. Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, IDEA. IDEA is a federal law that ensures students with disabilities are provided with free appropriate public education, FAPE, that is tailored to their individual needs. It recognizes dyslexia as a specific learning disability. Under IDEA, students with dyslexia may receive special education services and accommodations through an Individualized Education Program, IEP. Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act of 1973. Section 504 is a civil rights law that protects individuals with disabilities from discrimination for reasons related to their disabilities. It requires schools to provide accommodations and modifications to ensure that students with disabilities have equal access to education. Students with dyslexia who may not qualify for an IEP under IDEA might still receive accommodation under a 504 plan. Americans with Disabilities Act, ADA. ADA prohibits discrimination against individuals with disabilities in all areas of public life, including schools. It covers accommodations in a broader range of settings beyond the educational context, such as standardized testing and college admissions. State laws regarding dyslexia vary significantly across the United States. Some states have enacted specific legislation related to dyslexia, which may include screening and early identification. Many states require early screening for dyslexia in schools to identify and provide support to students from a young age. Dyslexia-specific training for teachers. Some state laws mandate that educators receive training on recognizing and educating students with dyslexia. Specialized instructional approaches. States may require that schools use evidence-based instructional approaches specifically designed for students with dyslexia, such as structured literacy programs. Individualized accommodations. State laws may outline specific accommodations or services that schools must provide to students with dyslexia. Reporting and accountability. States might require schools to report on the progress and outcomes of students with dyslexia, ensuring accountability for their education. Implementation and impact. Educational institutions' responsibility. Schools must be aware of and comply with these laws to provide appropriate support to students with dyslexia. Advocacy and awareness. Parents and educators often play a crucial role in advocating for students with dyslexia, ensuring that they receive the services and accommodations to which they are entitled. Continuous development. The landscape of dyslexia-related legislation is continuously evolving as more is understood about the condition and its impact on learning. In Texas, there are specific state laws and guidelines that address the identification, intervention, and accommodation of students with dyslexia and related disorders, including policies that focus on early screening, appropriate intervention, and providing educators with the necessary training. Let's discuss these in detail. Texas Education Code, TEC, Section 38.003. This is the primary law in Texas addressing dyslexia and related disorders. It defines dyslexia and mandates screening and treatment for students. The law requires that students be screened or tested for dyslexia at appropriate times. The school district must provide treatment for students diagnosed with dyslexia and related disorders. The Dyslexia Handbook. The Texas Education Agency, TEA, publishes the Dyslexia Handbook, Procedures Concerning Dyslexia and Related Disorders, which provides guidelines for schools to follow. The handbook outlines procedures for assessment, identification, and instruction of students with dyslexia, as well as information on the training required for educators. The handbook is updated periodically to reflect current research and best practices. Early screening and intervention. Texas law requires early screening for dyslexia and provides guidelines on the process for assessment and identification. Intervention programs must be evidence-based, offering explicit, systematic instruction in reading and spelling. Teacher training. Educators who provide instruction to students with dyslexia must be trained in instructional strategies that utilize differentiated and individualized, intensive, multisensory, phonetic methods. The state provides a framework for the training and continuing education of teachers and staff involved in teaching students with dyslexia. Accommodations and services. Students diagnosed with dyslexia may receive accommodation through a Section 504 plan or an Individualized Education Program, IEP, depending on their specific needs. Accommodation might include extra time on tests, oral administration of exams, or the use of technology aids. Parental involvement. Schools are required to inform parents or guardians of their rights and the services their child will receive. The law emphasizes the importance of parental involvement in the intervention process. Reporting and accountability. Districts are required to report information about the identification of and services provided to students with dyslexia and related disorders. Implementation in Texas schools. Compliance and monitoring. The TEA monitors school districts for compliance with state laws and the provisions outlined in the Dyslexia Handbook. Professional development. Ongoing training for educators is crucial to ensure they are equipped with the latest strategies and knowledge for teaching students with dyslexia. Collaboration with specialists. Many Texas schools work closely with dyslexia specialists, reading interventionists, and special education professionals. Texas's approach to dyslexia is comprehensive, emphasizing early identification, evidence-based instruction, and the professional development of educators. This proactive stance reflects a recognition of the importance of addressing dyslexia in the educational setting to support the academic and personal growth of affected students.
Rights of students with dyslexia. The rights of students with dyslexia are protected under various federal laws in the United States. These laws ensure that students with dyslexia, recognized as a specific learning disability, receive the necessary support and accommodations to access education on an equal basis with their peers. Let's discuss these rights in detail. Right to free appropriate public education, FAPE. Under the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, IDEA, students with disabilities, including dyslexia, are entitled to FAPE. This means they have the right to an education that is tailored to their individual needs at no cost to the family. FAPE includes special education and related services, provided in accordance with an Individualized Education Program, IEP. Right to an Individualized Education Program, IEP. An IEP is a legally binding document that outlines the specific educational plan for a student with a disability. For students with dyslexia, the IEP may include specific reading interventions, accommodations, goals, and progress monitoring. Right to non-discriminatory evaluation. Under IDEA, students with suspected disabilities, including dyslexia, have the right to a comprehensive and non-discriminatory evaluation. This evaluation must be conducted by a team of qualified professionals and should cover all areas related to the suspected disability. Right to appropriate accommodations and modifications. Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act of 1973 ensures that students with disabilities, including dyslexia, receive accommodations and modifications necessary to access education. These might include extended time on tests, alternative formats for assignments, or the use of assistive technology. Right to least restrictive environment, LRE. IDEA mandates that students with disabilities should be educated in the least restrictive environment, meaning they should have as much opportunity as possible to be educated alongside peers without disabilities. Right to parental involvement. Parents or guardians have the right to be involved in the decision-making process regarding their child's education, including the development and review of the IEP. Right to due process. If parents disagree with the educational plan or the accommodations provided, they have the right to due process, which includes mediation, filing complaints with the state education agency, or a due process hearing. Rights under the Americans with Disabilities Act, ADA. ADA prohibits discrimination against individuals with disabilities in all public entities, including schools. This law provides broader protection in terms of accessibility and accommodations in various settings. Ensuring these rights. Awareness and advocacy. It's important for parents, educators, and students themselves to be aware of these rights to ensure they are upheld. Collaboration and communication. Effective collaboration among parents, educators, and other professionals is crucial in developing and implementing an effective educational plan. Professional development for educators, teachers and school staff should receive training to understand dyslexia and the legal obligations to support students with this condition. Understanding and exercising these rights are crucial for the educational success and overall well-being of students with dyslexia. Ensuring that these rights are respected and implemented can make a significant difference in providing an equitable and effective educational experience for these students.
Teacher responsibilities and obligations. Teachers have significant responsibilities and obligations when it comes to supporting students with dyslexia. These duties not only encompass the delivery of effective instruction but also involve compliance with legal requirements, collaboration with families and specialists, and the provision of a supportive learning environment. Let's explore these responsibilities in more detail. Identifying students with dyslexia. Early identification. Teachers should be aware of the early signs of dyslexia and other learning disabilities. While they cannot diagnose these conditions, they can recommend that a student be evaluated if there are signs of difficulty with reading, writing, or related skills. Referral for assessment. Upon observing signs of dyslexia, teachers have the responsibility to refer the student for a formal evaluation by qualified professionals. Providing appropriate instruction. Evidence-based instruction. Use instructional strategies and programs that are evidence-based and specifically beneficial for students with dyslexia, such as structured literacy approaches. Differentiated instruction. Modify and differentiate instruction to meet the unique needs of students with dyslexia. This could involve using multisensory teaching methods, providing additional practice, or breaking down tasks into smaller, more manageable steps. Implementing accommodations and modifications. Accommodations. Provide accommodations as outlined in a student's Individualized Education Program, IEP, or 504 plan. These might include extended time on tests, preferential seating, or the use of assistive technology. Instructional modifications. Make necessary modifications to curriculum and instruction to ensure that students with dyslexia can access and engage with the material. Creating an inclusive classroom environment. Supportive atmosphere. Foster a classroom environment that is supportive and inclusive, where differences are respected and students feel safe to take risks and make mistakes. Reducing stigma. Educate the class about dyslexia and learning differences to promote understanding and reduce stigma. Collaborating with families and specialists. Communication with parents. Maintain open lines of communication with parents or guardians about their child's progress, challenges, and successes. Working with specialists. Collaborate with special education teachers, reading specialists, and other professionals to design and implement effective instructional strategies and interventions. Monitoring progress and adjusting instruction. Regular assessment. Conduct ongoing assessments to monitor the progress of students with dyslexia and adjust instructional strategies accordingly. Data-driven decisions. Use assessment data to make informed decisions about instruction and intervention. Legal and ethical responsibilities. Compliance with laws. Ensure compliance with federal and state laws related to special education, including IDEA and Section 504. Ethical practice. Adhere to ethical practices in education, respecting the rights and needs of all students, including those with dyslexia. Advocacy. Advocate for resources and support. Advocate for necessary resources, support, and training required to effectively teach students with dyslexia. Teachers play a critical role in supporting students with dyslexia. Their responsibilities extend beyond traditional teaching duties, encompassing a range of practices that promote an inclusive, supportive, and effective learning environment for students with diverse learning needs. Collaboration and communication. It is extremely important that teachers, administrators, and other support staff regularly collaborate with parents and caregivers, while working with parents and caregivers. Working with parents and caregivers is an essential aspect of supporting students with learning disabilities like dyslexia. This collaboration is crucial because parents and caregivers play a fundamental role in their child's educational journey and overall development. Let's discuss in detail how educators can effectively work with parents and caregivers. Establishing effective communication. Regular updates. Keep parents informed about their child's progress, challenges, and successes. This can be through regular meetings, emails, phone calls, or school portals. Open dialogue. Encourage an open and honest dialogue. Parents should feel comfortable sharing their insights and concerns about their child's learning. Collaborative approach. Partnership in education. View parents as partners in the educational process. Their insights can be invaluable in understanding the child's strengths, challenges, and learning preferences. Involvement in decision-making. Include parents in decision-making processes, especially when developing or modifying an individualized education program, IEP, or a 504 plan. Providing resources and support. Educational resources. share resources that can help parents support their child's learning at home. This could include reading materials, websites, instructional videos, or information about community resources. Workshops and training. Organize or suggest workshops that can help parents understand dyslexia, learn effective strategies for support, and connect with other parents in similar situations. Empowering parents. Skills training. Teach parents strategies and techniques that they can use at home to support their child's learning. This might include how to read with their child, use of assistive technology, or how to reinforce specific skills. Advocacy support. Help parents understand their child's rights and how to advocate for appropriate services and accommodations. Creating a consistent support system. Consistency between home and school. Strive for consistency in approaches and routines between home and school. This helps the child to have a coherent and predictable learning environment. Feedback mechanism. Establish a system for parents to provide feedback on what is working or not working at home. Understanding cultural and family dynamics. Cultural sensitivity. Be sensitive to the cultural backgrounds and family dynamics of each student. This understanding can inform more effective communication and collaboration. Tailored communication. Customize the communication and involvement strategies to fit the unique needs and circumstances of each family. Emotional support. Support for families. Recognize that having a child with a learning disability can be challenging and emotionally taxing for families. Offer emotional support and understanding. Connecting families with support networks. Help families connect with support groups, counseling services, or other parents who have children with similar challenges. Celebrating successes. Acknowledge achievements. Celebrate the student's successes and milestones with parents. Positive reinforcement is important for both the child and the parents. Handling conflicts and challenges. Conflict resolution. Be prepared to handle conflicts or disagreements professionally and empathetically. Seek to understand the parent's perspective and work together to find solutions. Partnership in education. View parents as partners in the educational process. Their insights can be invaluable in understanding the child. Working with parents and caregivers in a collaborative, respectful, and supportive manner is vital for the holistic development of students with dyslexia. Collaborating with special education and support services. Working with parents and caregivers is a crucial aspect of supporting students with learning challenges like dyslexia. This collaboration is vital for creating a consistent and supportive learning environment across school and home settings. Detailed collaboration involves communication, education, involvement, and support. Open and ongoing communication. Regular updates. Teachers should provide regular updates on the child's progress, challenges, and successes in school. Two-way communication. Encourage parents to share insights about their child's learning habits, challenges, and progress at home. Accessible communication channels. Use various communication methods, meetings, emails, phone calls, or digital platforms, to ensure parents are informed and involved. Education and information sharing. Educating about dyslexia. Provide parents with information about dyslexia, including characteristics, teaching strategies, and how it affects learning. Resources and support services. Share resources such as reading materials, websites, support groups, and workshops that can help parents understand and support their child's learning needs. Legal rights and educational plans. Inform parents about their child's legal rights and explain the processes involved in developing IEPs or 504 plans. Involvement in educational planning. Participation in IEP/504 meetings. Include parents in the development and review of their child's IEP or 504 plan. Decision-making role. Ensure that parents have a voice in decisions regarding their child's education, accommodations, and interventions. Collaborative goal setting. Shared goals work together to set realistic and achievable goals for the student. Home-school connection. Develop strategies that can be consistently applied in both home and school settings. Guidance on home support. Strategies for home offer guidance on how parents can support learning at home, such as reading together, homework strategies, or using educational games. Consistency in routines. Advise on the importance of consistent routines and structures that can help the child manage their learning and reduce stress. Empowering parents and caregivers. Building confidence. Empower parents with strategies and knowledge to effectively support their child's learning. Emotional support. Acknowledge the emotional challenges that parents may face and provide or recommend counseling and support services. Advocacy and community resources. Advocacy support. Assist parents in becoming effective advocates for their child's educational needs. Connecting with community resources. Guide families to local community resources, support groups, and services. Addressing challenges together. Problem-solving approach. Collaborate with parents to address any learning or behavioral challenges. Regular feedback and adjustments. Provide feedback on the effectiveness of strategies used at home and make necessary adjustments. Celebrating successes. Acknowledging achievements. Celebrate the student's achievements and progress, both big and small, to encourage continued effort and motivation. Cultural sensitivity and understanding. Respect for diversity. Be sensitive to and respectful of cultural and linguistic differences in communicating and collaborating with families. Working with parents and caregivers in supporting students with dyslexia is a partnership that requires effective communication, mutual respect, shared goals, and consistent strategies across home and school. This collaborative approach not only enhances the child's learning experience but also provides a supportive network, fostering an environment conducive to the child's academic and personal growth. Building a team to support dyslexic students. Building a team to support students with dyslexia is a collaborative effort that involves a range of professionals, each contributing their expertise to address the diverse needs of the student. This multidisciplinary approach ensures comprehensive support, addressing educational, emotional, and social aspects of the student's experience. Here's a detailed look at how such a team might be formed and function. Special education teacher. Provides specialized instruction and interventions. Develops and implements individualized education programs, IEP, or 504 plans. General education teacher. Implements classroom accommodations and modifications. Monitors progress and collaborates with the team on instructional strategies. Reading specialist or dyslexia therapist. Offers intensive, individualized reading instruction. Expert in evidence-based literacy interventions specifically for dyslexia. School psychologist. Conducts assessments to identify learning needs. Provides insight into cognitive strengths and weaknesses. Speech-language pathologist. Addresses language-based learning issues. Helps with speech or language difficulties that may coexist with dyslexia. Occupational therapist. Assists with fine motor skills related to writing. Helps in developing strategies to improve organizational skills. School counselor or psychologist. Provides emotional support and counseling. Addresses social skills and self-esteem issues. Parents or caregivers. Provide insights into the child's needs and behaviors at home. Key partners in implementing strategies outside of school. The student. Plays an active role in their learning journey. Provides feedback on what strategies are effective. Coordination and communication. Regular meetings. The team should meet regularly to discuss the student's progress, challenges, and to adjust strategies as needed. Clear communication channels. Establish efficient methods for communication among team members, including digital platforms, email, and face-to-face meetings. Collaborative decision-making. Ensure that all members, including the parents and the student, are part of the decision-making process. Developing and implementing strategies. Holistic approach. Develop a comprehensive plan that addresses academic, emotional, and social needs. Consistency across settings. Strategies should be consistent across different environments: school, home, therapy sessions. Monitoring and evaluation. Continuous assessment. Regularly assess the effectiveness of interventions and accommodations. Data-driven adjustments. Make adjustments based on data and feedback from team members. Professional development. Ongoing training. Team members should stay informed about the latest research, tools, and strategies for supporting students with dyslexia. Cross-training opportunities. Encourage team members to learn about each other's roles and perspectives. Community involvement. Engage with external experts. In some cases, bringing in external specialists or consultants can be beneficial. Utilize community resources. Connect with local organizations and support groups that specialize in dyslexia. Building awareness. Educate the school community. The team can play a role in educating other teachers, students, and staff about dyslexia to promote understanding and inclusion. Building a team to support students with dyslexia involves a coordinated, multidisciplinary approach with clear communication and a shared commitment to the student's holistic development. Each member brings unique skills and perspectives, making it possible to comprehensively address the varied needs of students with dyslexia.
Responsibilities as educators. This brings us to the conclusion of Module 6 on dyslexia, an introduction for teachers. In this module, we gained valuable insights into federal and state laws, our responsibilities as educators, and the significance of collaborative efforts to support dyslexic students effectively. Key takeaways included: understanding federal laws, exploring the variability in state laws, examining specific Texas state laws, recognizing the importance of adhering to these laws, advocacy of parents and educators, grasping the concept of forming multidisciplinary teams, emphasizing the significance of effective collaboration, acknowledging our responsibilities as educators, understanding the rights of dyslexic students, highlighting the role of educating the school community about dyslexia, recognizing the importance of regular team meetings, clear communication, shared decision-making, comprehensive strategies, progress monitoring, professional development, and community engagement. What's next? As you finish working on this professional development session and reflect on what you have learned here, your next steps should include creating an action plan for your classrooms. Development of an action plan is an essential step towards applying what you've learned in professional development to real-world teaching. Your action plan should be a practical guide that outlines specific strategies and interventions you plan to implement to support students with dyslexia. Consider including objectives like integrating multisensory teaching methods, employing assistive technologies, or enhancing communication with parents and caregivers. By diligently crafting and adhering to this action plan, you will be taking a proactive step in transforming your classroom into a more inclusive, effective, and supportive environment for all your students, particularly those with dyslexia. Thanks. Finally, we would like to thank you for participating in RISE Professional Development. We hope that you found the information useful for your students and classrooms. Please share this professional development with other teachers, support staff, and administrators at your schools so that they could also become well equipped to support students with dyslexia and other learning disabilities.